morning, good evening, Titan Nation. How is everybody doing? What's going on, NFL fans? What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to a brand new edition of the Truth League Report. And the report is back. TLR has returned for the 2023 season. I definitely wanted to record this a little bit sooner, but we're going to go ahead and get started with week one, and I'm definitely going to make sure to do better and be more consistent with the Truth League Report. I know it's been a long time since this has happened, but we are back and definitely going to be much more consistent talking about the rest of the NFL, talk about the entire landscape of the NFL. But before we do get the show started, go ahead and like me on Facebook on TNT Blue, the TNT Enforcers page, also on X, Twitter, at TNT Blue Enforcer, and on Instagram at Titans_N_Truth. Definitely going to try to start putting more NFL news on that channel as well. Definitely also make sure you follow, if you can, if you get the podcast channels of Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, or Google Podcasts, you can definitely download me there. Let me know what you think as well. Let me get a rating. Download those episodes. You can definitely watch them or listen to them, rather, if necessary. Anybody that comes on here, make sure you smash that like button. Let's get some likes in here. Let's, get a lot of NFL fans in because this is what it's all about. Definitely trying to engage more NFL fans. I know this is the TitansNTruth channel, but not just talking Tennessee Titans. We're going to be talking the entire NFL all year long. And if you're new to the channel, also go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I know I talk a lot of Titans, but I will be talking NFL. I'm also going to be talking on another show, talking about Tennessee sports, talking about the Vols, talking about the Memphis Tigers, at some point talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, and much, much more. So definitely subscribe to the channel and definitely be on the lookout for that. But again, welcome into the Truth League Report. Super chats are also appreciated as well. And let's get into this show. And we're definitely going to first start talking about some of the top stories from this, going into week one. And of course, a couple of stories, and I didn't bring them up, was, of course, way before the season started, Justin Herbert, got a 5-year, $262 million extension. Got a $262 million extension to stay with the LA Chargers. 262.5 million, excuse me, 218.7 million guaranteed. And of course, that was only beat out not too long ago by Joe Burrow. 5 years, 275 million, and right at 219 million guaranteed. So now Joe Burrow is the highest paid player in the NFL. And of course, if you add on top of what he's already getting, this could turn into he could be making $310 million over 7 years. That's including the last 2 years of the current rookie deal that he is currently on. So those guys are making major, major money. And that is, a big deal for the NFL, because you knew at some point that Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow were going to get paid. And now a quarterback that might be up next to get paid is somebody I'm probably not a fan of talking about, and that is Trevor Lawrence. He's another guy that is probably going to be up for getting paid at some point within the next, year or two. So that's something that we got to definitely, be ready, definitely be ready for and everything. So that's going to be very interesting to see how all of that plays out. The Chiefs, after their first game, losing to the Detroit Lions on Thursday Night Football this weekend, the Chiefs and Chris Jones agreed to a 1-year, $25 million deal, $19.5 million guaranteed. He ends his holdout and returns to the Kansas City Chiefs, at least for this year, and everything. So now, and of course, after week 1, if you sign somebody, you don't have to guarantee their money for the remainder of the year, and everything. But for other players who are already established, week 1, their money is guaranteed for the remainder of the year. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. But Chris Jones gets a little bit more money, ends his holdout. We're going to probably talk about this a little bit later as well, but I know the NFL is heartbroken. Some breaking news from Monday night going into Tuesday. Aaron Rodgers, torn Achilles, out for the year. Only played 4 snaps in the Jets' win over the Buffalo Bills in comeback fashion. But towards Achilles, 4 plays in, is out for the remainder of the year. And as of right now, the Jets are probably scrounging looking at quarterbacks. But at the moment, they're going to have to depend on former first-round pick. They got to go back to Zach Wilson, quarterback, who, for all intents and purposes, led them to a win. They got a victory. But that could be an outlier, because we'll definitely have to see how he goes, because a lot of people are already writing the Jets off, myself included. Although I will say the Jets have a very, very, very good defense. And they also got this weapon by the name of Garrett Wilson as well. And a couple of good running backs in Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall. So the Jets could be okay if Zach Wilson could just manage. That's all they could do. But I don't know what this means for Aaron Rodgers. Could this be it for him? The Jets moved heaven and earth to get him, and now their prize stallion is down for the count, at least right now. And as we keep going with the show, you're going to see in the bottom ticker all the scores from week 1, all the scores from week 1 games. So definitely check that out, see where your favorite team ended up finishing, and see where they are and everything. So we're definitely showing that. And we're definitely going to get into my top 5 games from this weekend's slate of games. And so we're not going to go in any particular order. These are not going from 5 to 1. These are just the top 5 that I thought were very impressive. And we start in Pittsburgh, where the 49ers struck gold in the Steel City, winning 30-7 in blowout fashion over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Brandon Ayuk had himself a game. 8 catches, 129 yards, 2 TDs. Christian McCaffrey had 152 yards on 22 carries and a touchdown. And Drake Jackson, who I've never heard of, had 3 big sacks on Kenny Pickett. So a very impressive road win. I did hear some national media saying, hey, San Francisco could go into Pittsburgh and win. And that's exactly what they did. Speaking again of the Jets, even though Aaron Rodgers out for the year with a torn Achilles, they find a way to win. Garrett Wilson with a very impressive touchdown catch. 3 interceptions thrown by Josh Allen, even though Stephon Diggs had 10 catches, 102 yards to the score. But the most exciting part was the comeback. The Jets go down, get a field goal, go up 16-13. The Bills get a field goal to take it to overtime. The Bills get the ball first. They punt the ball away to Xavier Gibson of the Jets, who returns it for a game-winning walk-off touchdown. And in entertaining, epic fashion, that's how the Jets get to 1-0 over the 0-1 Buffalo Bills, a team a lot of people think could make it to the Super Bowl, and the Jets get a surprising win despite Aaron Rodgers being out now for the remainder of the year. So definitely shout out to the Jets getting that win 22-16 in overtime. The third game I want to talk about. The Dolphins shine in a shootout in Tinseltown out on the West Coast. Tua Tagovailoa throws for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. I mean, any quarterback can look good too when you have the cheetah Tyreek Hill on the other side, who had 11 catches for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that dude can flat out fly. Of course, we take on the Chargers next week, who they beat in next week here in Nashville. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Chargers can they bounce back, being down now 0-1. But I mean, you know, when you have Tyreek Hill, he makes Tua's life a heck of a lot easier. So definitely the Dolphins shined in the City of Angels. Another game. Bucks shock Vikings in Minnesota. You know, the Vikings are definitely the team to pick to win the the NFC North. But Kirk Cousins goes to 344 yards, 2 TDs and an interception. Justin Jefferson had 9 catches, 150 yards. But a guy who did me some favors on my fantasy team, Antoine Winfield, who I'm so happy I picked up in fantasy, had 8 tackles, a sack, a forced fumble recovery as well. Mike Evans had 6 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. Baker Mayfield, you know, definitely ruined the first game of the year at US Bank Stadium for the Vikings. Very impressive because I don't think a lot of people expected a lot out of the Bucks with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. But last but not least, as much as I don't like giving the Cowboys their due, I will, because they humiliated the Giants on Sunday Night Football in front of the world. 7 sacks by the Dallas Cowboy defense. Daniel Jones looked horrible. And I said this to some people before. The Giants are going to regret restructuring that Daniel Jones deal. I mean, they already gave him a big contract early on, and then they restructure it. So I thought that was a horrible mistake by the Giants. They should have even paid him and should have just looked at another quarterback. 5 giant fumbles. Now, they lost only one of them, but they fumbled the ball 5 times. And 2 Daniel Jones interceptions. And I believe they also had a field goal blocked and returned for a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been a punt, but it was returned 58 yards for a touchdown. Was the worst shutout of the Giants-Cowboys rivalry. So I know there's a huge fan base here in Memphis that love the Dallas Cowboys. So I know they think they're going to the Super Bowl and, you know, think that, you know, that the world is theirs again. But I got to admit, 40-0 on Sunday Night Football, that is a statement. Absolutely. So very, very impressed with that. Definitely another honorable mention. Definitely got to give some love to the Green Bay Packers, 38-20 over the Bears. Jordan Love wins his starting quarterback debut. Definitely. So was definitely something to say there. The Cleveland Browns, I mean, beat down on the Cincinnati Bengals 24-3 is another one. And I'm going to say this. Shout out to the Washington Redskins. I mean, Commanders. I know a certain person out there, Crystal Hayward, my best friend, would love to hear the Redskins, but they are the Commanders. But I'm going to give them a shout out because Washington did win their first game over, albeit the listless Arizona Cardinals 20-16, but they do get a win. They are 1-0. Shout out to Washington. I'll say that to feel better. And everything. So definitely some good games that happened there. Of course, join me on Friday. I will be making my week 2 picks on the week 2 slate of games. We're gonna pick every game. And definitely I will probably do a quick short to give my thoughts on the Thursday night game of the Eagles and Vikings as the Vikings head to Philly to take on the Eagles. So I'll definitely give my thoughts on that as well. Right now, early on, I'm going with the Eagles. I think the Eagles win that game. They're at home. They beat the New England Patriots. So I'm going fly, Eagles fly. You know, usually Thursday night football is a bad short week for the road team. The home team usually has a better advantage. So I'm going to go with the Eagles on that one. But let's get to my top 5 ballers. And for that, I've got to put on, I definitely got to put on some good music.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top. Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want.
So let's start with number 5. Number 5 top ball. One of my top ballers, again, not in any order. But number 5, my 5th baller, Brandon Ayuk. We talked about him earlier. 8 catches, 129 yards, 2 TDs in that blowout win for San Francisco. There were some people that thought that Brandon Ayuk could have been traded and maybe could have gotten a nice haul of a few picks from San Francisco, to help with the fact that Brock Purdy was returning and everything. But Brandon Ayuk could be becoming their number 1 receiver out there. But of course, there's still Deebo Samuel, so we can't forget about him. My 2nd baller, gotta go to double team for the Finns. Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. More so Tyreek Hill because, Tua had a good game, but can he continue that? Can he stay healthy all year? That's what we're really going to find out. But I mean, for anybody, you'll look good with Tyreek Hill by your side. So that's, definitely something to take into account there. Tyreek Hill makes any quarterback look good. I know Patrick Mahomes wish he still had it. Number 3, and I know a certain troll out there, XD Gamer, and probably other Jags fans will be happy with this. Welcome back to the NFL, Calvin Ridley. 8 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown as the Jags defeat the Indianapolis Colts 31-21, and they take an early lead in the AFC South. Ridley, who of course has been out for, I believe, a year and a half or more, and been reinstated, and now he connects with Trevor Lawrence, and so Ridley could easily become their number 1 receiver. Number 4, I got to give it to the second-year man, third-year guy, Jordan Love, who tosses 3 touchdowns in his debut as a starting quarterback as the Green Bay Packers defeat the Chicago Bears 38-20. And I just thought that was very, very impressive that Jordan Love was able to get the job done there. And so we're definitely going to see how that, continues on later in the year. And last but not least, Cowboys had a sack party. 7 sacks in a dominating shutout of the New York Giants. Extremely impressive. And so, definitely got to give a shout out to the Cowboys. As much as I don't want to, got to give them a shout out nevertheless. So, as we take a sneak peek at the games for week 2, Minnesota and Philadelphia. Again, I'm going with Minnesota. We'll talk about games. Green Bay at Atlanta. The Raiders go to Buffalo, so they got to go cross country. Baltimore and Cincinnati in an early AFC North matchup. Of course, the main event, Chargers come cross town to Tennessee to take on my Titans. You got another game I'm probably going to be looking forward to. Hopefully Kansas City goes and whoops Jacksonville. Cleveland and Pittsburgh is going to be very interesting. New Orleans, Carolina could be interesting as well. So we're definitely going to see when it comes to that. So those are just an early look at some of the games. Miami, New England on Sunday Night Football. Does Miami turn it up in New England? Miami has had luck against the Patriots in Foxborough. So that's going to be very, very interesting to tell on that. But we're definitely going to come back on Friday with my picks, with my week 2 picks of who's going to win each game. Again, this has been the Truth League Report. We're going to definitely bring you more. We're going to be live every Friday with the week picks. And then on Monday, definitely recapping the week that was, and also getting you ready for Monday Night Football as well. So come join me each and every week. Make sure you follow on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. Definitely make sure you do that. Also, definitely make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and like this show. And then also make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I want to say thank y'all for tuning in to the Truth League Report. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer, a.k.a. The Truth. And y'all have a very good night. And let's enjoy some football, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a very good rest of your night.